I will speak about friction and gravity. Whenever you try to slide across a surface, there are two surfaces gripping against each other. This force is called friction. Friction depends on the type of a surface. When the surface is rough, the more friction there is. And the more friction there is, the more you slow down. On slippery surfaces like but on other surfaces you try to slide, but it feels slippery and there are not a lot of friction because in comparison to the rough ones there are not a lot of friction. So the more friction there is, the more you slow down, and friction is responsible for it. But maybe it's bad that we're slowing down, but friction is very important because you couldn't just stand still without it, and we couldn't grip onto anything and do simple activities that we're doing a daily because if that weren't for friction, we were just slide down always without any stop. Also, because of friction, people made some boots that are mounted with rough ridges, and with rough ridges, people with those boots don't slow down. Friction also is responsible for heat because when two surfaces rub against each other, there is a kinetic energy and heat energy, and the heat happens. Also, some elements like air and water have friction as well, but it's weak against transports like cars and ships because air and water move against them in smooth lines, and this is called streamlining. We can also call a friction as a resistance force because it moves in the opposite side of the direction and it's against a motion. The next topic I will tell you about is gravity. Gravity is an invisible force that works when you, for example, try to jump and it pulls you down. Gravity can be very weak with the small objects, but with the big objects such as moons and planets, they have a very big gravity and they pull objects towards them with that force. But the bigger object is, the more gravity there is. The biggest planet in our solar system is Jupiter, and it has twice of Earth's gravity, and we cannot even walk or jump normally there. And but on its moon, called Lu, it's much smaller than Jupiter, and we can jump twice higher than on our Earth because it's smaller and it has weaker gravity force. Also in space, some objects orbit others. For example, planets orbit Sun and moons orbit planets. But how do they orbit them in circles? It works because moons are weaker objects, are very fast, and they try to move in a straight line from the planet. But planet has bigger gravity and they pull the object towards them, and forces balance out, and the planet orbits the other planet. It works. So this is how they orbit it. That's all.